Yeah, we gotta get you in there. You gotta come a little closer so you can get in frame. Hit it again, man. You gotta put your headphones on. Hit it again.
You might live now.
Hey man, we ain't gonna talk about them. We ain't gonna talk about Obama and all that.
Talk about Trump. Talk about it.
Nah, I ain't gonna
You're in a hot seat right now.
Nah. We ain't gonna do that either, bro. We ain't gonna do that either. You know what I'm saying? We gonna make that thing. We gonna make it happen though.
I'm gonna connect y'all to this brother right here.
We gonna make sure we make it happen though.
My man JT in the house.
We put that calling number in there early, Raheem.
I want to know more about that, Terry.
You ready? Good evening. This is your host, Joaquin Thompson Sr. coming to you live from Lilburn, Georgia. This is episode 84, and you're on with the Daily Bread Radio Show. And we got a special guest in the studio. We got Sir Markadoo. He's our special guest today, and we're going to be talking to him very shortly. But before I get started, I always like to start off with giving those ground rules. And this show, if this is your first time joining us, this show is about personal finance from a spiritual perspective. Notice I said from a spiritual perspective. We don't do religion on the Daily Bread Radio Show.
Hallelujah.
But we do spirituality. Yeah. So the reason we do that is because when you get into religion, start getting real, I'm in this, and no, you don't know, and you ain't going to. We don't do none of that. But everybody, everywhere can agree to one thing. There's only one God. And everything goes up to that one God. So we start off every show with that, just acknowledging that. So you got a religious preference, hey, bless you. But we don't do religion, we only do spirituality. Now this show is about personal finance, and we talk about everything.
Don't say the P word,
man. I ain't gonna say the P word, man. We got a guest in the house. I'm not gonna do that to him, man. Blow his phone up and make something happen. But the other thing that we do on our show is we talk about every and all types of aspects of personal finance. Because when you sit down and you think about it, just give yourself a moment and think. Everything that you do, everything that you touch, everything that you have is tied back to personal finance. So whether it's the car you drive, the clothes you wear, your friendships, your network, your net worth, your house, everything. Everything is tied back to personal finance. Where you're born and where you transition to. So what we try to do is break down each and every week, break down a different component, talk about things that's going to do three things. We want to make sure that we're educating, motivating, and elevating. Educating, motivating, elevating. Because it's my job to make sure that we get the word out and we spread the word so that way everybody that's interested in improving their financial situation can do that. And like we talked about before, it's a famous quote from Benjamin Franklin that says, no man will live long enough to learn everything that they need to know to be successful. So you have to be able to learn, partner, and align yourself with other people so that way you can learn from one another, right? So you don't have to go out and try to do everything yourself, like, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do that. So you have to align yourself with other people. And I'm very, very, very excited to have this brother, Sir Markadoo, on today. And before we get into that, I got a public service announcement. This is for everybody. Raheem, I've talked to Raheem, I've talked to my wife, got my lovely wife in the studio, got my nephew in the studio today. We'll bring him on, but we got to talk to him. We'll talk to him offline. We're going to work on him. I put the P word on him offline.
There you go.
I'm going to put the P word on him offline. But one of the things that we're doing on the Daily Bread Radio Show, and we wholeheartedly believe in, and we've been talking about this is our 84th episode. So every week man, come on with the applause quicker, man. Y'all ain't like... Y'all like that ain't being done every day, man.
Come on now.
That ain't being done. Who you know got 84
Okay.
episodes?
They need to do it again.
I mean, do
Come
it
on,
again,
y'all,
man.
crowd. Come on,
Dude,
crowd.
y'all need to get excited in here, man.
Come on.
Who else y'all know doing that, man? Who else you know doing that, man? But anyway, so with the 84th episode, one of the things that we want to come in the new year and talk about, because you know we always like to be transparent, realistic, whatever terminology you want to use about the Daily Bread radio show. But one of the things we always talk about is multiple streams of income, right? We've had the show, I did the recipes, brought out all the different ingredients. It's a must. It's very important for you to make sure that you have more than one stream of income, because that's in the Bible. I mean, if you read your Bible, and again, we're not getting into religion, but I read the Bible. So if you read your Bible, you'll learn different aspects that you need to have more than one thing in case you have one river or one stream or one tributary. If it starts to dry up, then you have something else that can flow to you as well. So it's the same thing in your life. So what you have to do is make sure, and I was reading an article recently about your famous president, and one of the things about him was this. When his father transferred the wealth from Donald Trump's father, right? When he transferred it to Donald Trump and his siblings, they documented, this is a New York Times article, so you can look up the article, and they said that Donald Trump's father had 249 different streams of income.
Jesus Christ.
249. So with that being said, when you bring it down to the average person's level, a lot of people have either entrepreneurial or they have a 9 to 5. So you got payroll income. That's cool. You're a wage earner. That's cool. You laboring, linear income. Got it. Cool. So that's check. You got one source of income. Now you need another source of income. So another source of income may be something like, oh, I brought a rental property. So I got some rental income. So, okay, I'm a real estate owner. Oh, okay, cool. You're a real estate owner. Also own a radio show. That's a third source of income. Then you're an author. So you write a book or you have something tangible, product or service that you can offer to someone in exchange for income. That's a fourth stream of income. And then you come back and you say, okay, I also have a business where we teach and package personal finance. So coming into 2019, one of the things that I ran across was a very, very well-positioned company. It's called MyEcon. So a lot of people was giving me feedback about, you got your show, and I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, you're all over the place.
But the thing about it is this. It's not that you're all over the place. The thing about it is this. You always want to make sure that you have revenue coming in from different sources, right? Not hustle, because you know how we talked about before. You can have a hustle, and I don't knock hustle because I've had hustles, but make sure everything is documented so when you get to this time of year, a lot of people start to rejoice because they're like, oh, I'm going to get a tax refund. But if you have your business license, and you're registered with the Secretary of State, you have your EIN, all these things that's in place that legitimize your business, then you're ready for tax season, right?
Yeah.
You're ready to do, because you plan for that in 2018. You're not just getting into 19 like, okay, I don't know what's going on, what have you. So with MyEcon, the way I looked at that, it's right in my lane, it's right what I want to do in helping people improve their livelihood, because it's different aspects of MyEcon that's just tremendous. The number one aspect is really showing people how to improve their income producing ability, the ability to make more money. So even if you have your 9 to 5 or you got an entrepreneurial space, here's another revenue source. So what's wrong with having another revenue source? And it doesn't have to be, people get hung up on, oh, you ain't gonna make $1 million, $2 million. It ain't about $1 million, $2 million. It's about
Another stream.
It's about 500, right? So what I always ask people, would 500 help you out? What would that do for you? That might be all your utilities, that might be half the mortgage, might be the car note. But that's 500 that you don't have to come up with. What about another 1,000, right? And the other thing that we always want to keep in mind is there's certain aspects to, it's not just about the income, but it's about putting you in position to put things in place like an emergency fund, right? They said 80% of the people have less than, Sir Mark Duke was talking about earlier. 80% of the people in the U.S. have less than $1,000.
That don't make any sense to me.
They can't put their hand on
I
it.
can't wrap my mind around that. I just
But-
can't do it.
So if you say, well, hey, why? That would be a good reason to have another source of income, because now you can, maybe you don't have enough, leverage with your 9 to 5, but other things that you're into right now, or even your business. Me and my wife own a small business, the Amazing Cakes Bakery, one of the best bakeries in Atlanta. But even when we was running our bakery, sometimes we just didn't have enough to be putting away an emergency fund just off of that, because it was just revenue, right? We were reinvesting into the business. So with my econ, you're going to be able to improve your revenue. You're going to be able to. The second thing is credit. Everybody want to talk about credit, bad credit, marginal credit. Going to the dealership, not knowing if you're going to get the car or not knowing if you're going to get the loan or not. So that's something else. We have systems put in place, over 26 modules that you can sit down in the comfort of your home, go through the modules, you read, and don't pay somebody to do it. You do it for yourself. This is about self-empowerment. You can do that for yourself. So we can show you step by step. We got the letters. We got all of the different videos that's gonna help you improve your credit. And what does that do? Some people say, well, I want to improve my credit because I want to. No, not buying a car. Because when you improve your credit, guess what? You can get cheaper money. You can get cheaper money. So instead of you paying 7%, 8%, 9%, now you can get 0, 1%, 2%. What is that going to do for you? That's going to help you put money into your emergency fund. What is that going to do for you? Then it's going to take you to the next thing that we have available, which is invest in education. Most people still, this is 2018, and I still get people saying to me, no, I don't invest in the stock market because, man, that's a gamble. That's like playing the lotto. You need to know your history, and if you're in America, you got to own a piece of America. If you're buying from Walmart, you need to own a piece of Walmart. If you're wearing Nikes, you need to own a piece of Nike. Everybody was behind the Colin Kaepernick campaign, what Colin Kaepernick is doing, but you need to own some of Nike. You need to own some of Apple. Don't just have the phone, own the phone. So those are some of the things that we talk about, and then we also talk about, ways that you can eliminate debt. So all of these things work together in a synergistic standpoint, meaning that they work together. So once you start working through all these different things, it's like, that's just going to empower you to do more things. And the only reason that you have a business is to do what? Create assets that's going to make you more money. That's the only reason that you go into business. To create assets so that way you can have more money to invest in other things. So now you can buy real estate, you can buy stocks, you can buy bonds, you can invest in different companies. And when opportunities come around, I was just reading a Forbes article today. And this is something that I always impress upon everybody about the importance of being able to read and do your research. One of the biggest tax advantages in America right now was created by a black senator, Republican senator out of South Carolina, and a tech billionaire. And what they came up with, and you can research this, is called the Opportunity Zone. Opportunity. They call it the O-Zone for short. The short version is this. They're giving tax advantage savings for investors to invest into this fund. So what are they doing with the money? They're taking the money and investing it in disadvantaged areas throughout the United States, so that way they can take these blighted areas, create housing, create jobs, create better schools. So how does that benefit everybody? Then they're doing reverse, listen to this, reverse regentrification or reverse gentrification. Meaning, instead of them coming in, raising the prices, pricing out the people that's living in the neighborhood, they coming in, raising the value of the properties, but guess what? Giving the jobs to the people that live in the community. No one else is doing it. And guess the people that's investing the money, they're getting a tax break over the next 10 years. They get 8% compounded over the next 10 years. So if you know what we know and you understand the Rule 72, if you get 8% a year, how long will it take for you to double your money? It's going to take 9 years. So in 10 years, if you put in 10,000, in 10 years, guess what? You're going to have 20.
Double.
It's going to be 20. You put in 1,000,
But
guess
it's
what?
compounding now, though, but it's yearly. It's compounding the yearly
Yes,
now.
but that's what I'm saying.
That's even
But no, the bigger point is this. How many people know about that?
Not many.
Okay? So that's what that's why I want to lay the groundwork. So you're going to be, if you haven't heard from me, you're going to be hearing from me. Because that's what we're doing in 2019.
Yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting this brother that's sitting next to me. And one of the things that I want to start off with before I, reintroduce him and let him tell you about his story is the thing that struck me about this brother was this. Many times we go through life and we meet people, and the first thing that goes through your mind is like, what are they trying to get from me? Very rarely do you have somebody that meets you, and the first time that they meet you is, he says to me, hey man, what can we do to help each other out?
Boom, just like that.
We ain't exchanged names or nothing. He was like, hey man, what do you do? What do you do that we can help each other? Or what can I do to help you? And I'm like, really? Like, okay, well, all right. So at first I was like, all right, that sounds good. We, in the little break area, I'm like, that sounds good. I was like, but he just talking. You know what I'm saying? The next thing he was saying was like, well, hey, here's my number, here's my information. This is what I do. You can help me, and I can help you. And we can do whatever we do, we can do it together and make even more money.
That's it.
So when you do that, that's when you don't have to do you trying to build a Golden State type of team. You're not trying to be a single person trying to do it all. Nah.
Group economics.
You know what I'm saying? Group economics. Economics. But without further ado, I want to introduce Mark, and this brother has a powerful story. So before we get started, you want to probably turn your phone up because it's going to be beeping. And let me give just the volume, just your volume.
Yeah, turn it down.
So we got the number to the show because I know Mark has a huge following. So the number to the show is 678. You trying to tell me the number to the show? Write it down, man. 678.
You flubbing.
I'm
trying to help you.
Man, you talking too much, man. I got this brother on. Now you want to talk. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. So if you want to call in and give if you got a question, if you got a comment, by all means, you can call into the Daily Bread Radio Show. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know if you have a question, and then we can take it from there. But what we have is we got Sir Markadoo Higgins,
Yeah.
right?
That's it.
And I apologize because in my promo I put Higgins. So I said,
I need more words.
I ain't say, hey, I ain't say that. But, when I seen it, I said, you know what, when I see that brother, I'm going to tell him because I'm a stickler about that. Because my name, I got an odd name, right? My name is Joaquin, Joaquin. And people mess it up all the time.
Yeah.
First couple of times I give them a pass.
Yeah.
But then if you keep messing up, then what that says to me is you don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have a person's name is not more important to a person than their name.
Absolutely.
Right? Not what they answer to, but
Not
what
their
the name
fame,
is.
their name.
That's it. So Sir Markadoo, tell us about who is Sir Markadoo, what is Sir Markadoo, and what do we need to know about Sir Markadoo?
Well, the first thing you need to know is that
Start at the beginning, because you got to start at the beginning.
well, I love God. I'll start there.
Okay.
That's
Now I was going to say, because if you ain't start there, I'm just going to do you like this. Like, all right, man, it was good having you on the show.
Yeah. It's
See
time
you
to
later.
move on.
God bless, good night.
That's our quickest interview ever. No, I come from Boston, Massachusetts,
Okay.
and I grew up. I'm a relatively happy guy,
Okay.
happy young dude,
Right.
And then right around 8 years old, I was molested, and that kind of took a little bit of the joy out of me, and then you can see it in some of my pictures, how I was just flatlined,
Right, like a flat out
yeah,
flat.
yeah. So, I worked through it, but my mind started thinking about economics.
Whoa.
I mean, right around that time, just like I began to focus on numbers and how they work and how people would buy stuff, because I would really pay close attention to my mother. I would want to go to the store with her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she probably said, why is this? I never seen a kid that always want to go to the store. Go shopping is the reverse. The kids don't want to go,
Right.
So I used to like to watch the exchange. I used to like to watch her buy and watch how she shopped and what she shopped for. And I began to develop a system then. And I realized that my mother was shopping brands, certain brands of stuff, and I got intrigued by that.
Okay.
You know, why would she pick that over that? And that intrigued me. So the next thing that rolled right into it was the marketing.
Okay.
One time, you know, I would see a sign on the window, or I would see a commercial, and I said, that commercial, my mother had that in the house, Clorox.
Right.
And those so I would see this, or she smoked Pall Malls, and I would see the commercial, then I would see her with the pack, and I said, oh, okay, this is intriguing to me, okay?
Okay.
And then I realized the psychology of it all, it drove me to say, why is there different commercials, Marlboros, Pall Malls, Camels? So I would see how they would jockey for position for these products, especially cigarettes back then, because
Yes.
I would watch even Fred Flintstone smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the Jetsons, and they would puff it. So
That was big. I mean, everybody smoked. The doctor,
Yeah.
that was back when you used to go to the hospital, and the doctor would come in the room smoking a cigarette, and be like,
Yeah.
what's going on with you?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you smoking a cigarette?
Yeah. So all that intrigued me, and then I realized the simplicity and the duplication of it all. Today we call it the 5 principles of international marketing. Back then I was just had a little system. By the time I was 10, I began to implement that system into the market. And
Whoa.
yeah, I would just try to,
5 principles of international marketing.
to international marketing.
So you got to, I mean, the brand has, this is a very, very, very astute and intelligent artist, but can you kind of walk us through, what are the 5?
Well,
what are
the first
elements?
one, you know, I ask you a question. I ask anybody, the question is, and I love to do this to people, and I was doing it when I was a kid. I would ask grown folks, I said, what's the first thing you need if you're gonna move your products around the globe?
Right.
And what would be the answer?
Branding.
You need a brand. So, but never really knew that.
Right.
So I would say, well, what's the next thing you're gonna need to move your brand
Right.
around the globe? Well, it's marketing.
Exactly.
And so I would just test the market, just keep testing and testing. And
I knew they would get mad at you, man.
no,
They
you know, and no, my family did. My family did.
I know they were like, man.
My family did that. You're right. But I had to experiment on them first.
I know they were like, hey, go on with
Yeah,
that, man.
get out of here, nobody.
We don't like when we don't know the answer to
Yes,
something.
sir.
And especially coming from a kid.
But it was. You're absolutely right. But what made it even more better, it was the adults from other places that would say, "You're a smart kid. Where did you learn that?" They were more intrigued. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Right.
You know, how'd you know that? So once I understood that you understand you need that brand. Number one, what's the first thing you need? A brand. What's the second thing you need? What's the first thing you need to move that brand? Well, it's marketing. But what are you going to need to outperform the competition? Psychology. You have to
Whoa.
outthink the competition. You know, if you're even going to compete with the competition,
Right.
or even excel, or even be able to even deal in the same pool of money, you have to use your mind, right?
Whoa.
So imagine at 10 years old, 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm studying it.
And you
Like
hitting them with that?
And at 10 years old, I was like, wham, wham, wham. Hit them in the cranium, wham, right? So, but now I love teaching the youth and young adults that stuff, so
Right.
they can have an upper hand on the market, okay? But after the psychology, I realized what was needed to make those 3 things operate in a pristine environment: the branding, marketing, psychology. Or how could I have a 10-year-older be able to teach a 50-year-old something?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like we have a 15-year-old man.
Right.
If he learned these 5 principles,
He'd be on
nobody
fire.
be able to compete with him. I mean, just the average person won't even be able to understand what he's talking about.
Right.
But so, what was that one thing that made those 3, the branding, the marketing, the psychology, pristine? Was simplicity. How you do it so easy, so simple that a 5-year-old can understand it.
But that's the key. That's it.
Because
Because that gives you the ability to duplicate.
that's why I wrote the book. They've been begging me to write that book for years. But the beautiful part though, which the ones, all of them are my favorite, but my absolute favorite is like once you implemented all four of those four systems, because they're all systems in themselves. What's the fifth one that makes everything come together? Duplication. You do it over and over and over again, and you'll get the same result. In McDonald's, Burger King, all the superstores, all the big corporations, they all use these systems without us even knowing it.
Exactly. And the funny part about it is not only do they use them, but they use them very effectively. But the other thing that they do is they evaluate the effectiveness of those 5
In the
components.
mind, and how
Right.
that's why they do the things they do.
Right.
I mean, they can use a smell to get you to buy more. A lot of people don't even know that, when you walk into some stores, like the big superstores like Walmart, there's a scent in the air. You don't even know it. It's like like grapefruit type of soft smells make people buy more. It makes them pleasant, makes them happier. So people don't even know that they use those type of. That's why when people walk into my warehouse, they say, "Oh, it smells so good in here."
And that's when you start.
And I start putting that thing on. I start putting that bag on.
That's when your hands start sweating like,
Ching,
oh,
ching.
we about to make some money today. Man, so that I mean,
Go ahead.
but the thing about that system,
Yeah. Systems.
So let me correct myself. Systems, right? Those 5 things.
Yeah.
Once you put that, so for a young person, because I know. So let me ask you this.
Yes.
Why? Because I know that was one of the things that you and I talked about. Why at this point in your business career are you focusing on teaching the youth?
Because no one was teaching me.
Whoa.
Nobody was really putting the time into me, and I knew I was brilliant. I knew I was smarter than all of them. I knew I was. I knew I was smarter than my mother, my brothers. I knew I was smarter than all of them. And they wouldn't pay me no mind. They wouldn't give me the love that's why I tell parents all the time, the youth and young adults, they're brilliant. The youth are really smart. But we dummy them down. We dummy them down. And it's not, they're not doing it maliciously. It's just been done to them.
Right, and we touched on that, and I'm glad that you brought that up because we touched on that topic during last week's show because it's a book by Napoleon Hill. It's called Outwitting the Devil. Now, most people know about Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
But when he wrote Think and Grow Rich, he had studied all of the most successful people during that era, right? But even though he had studied all of these people and they told him all of the keys to be successful, all of the elements, all of the systems,
Yes.
in his mind, he didn't think he had what it took to do or duplicate what they taught him. So he wrote this book called Outwitting the Devil, and in that book, that's what he talks about is a lot of times the parent is the root cause
Absolutely.
of the fear
Yes.
that's placed into a child.
Exactly. You know what the word is? It's called transferable.
Yes.
It's a transferable. Yeah, that's what's happening. Transfer whatever that your parent, or you as a parent, because I've done it to my children.
Right.
I transferred a lot of my bad stuff because I come from the drugs. I used crack cocaine and sniffing heroin for 8 years. And I got off drugs and started a company with $96 and never looked back.
Whoa.
Now I have a 10,000 square foot warehouse and ship all over the place. And I laugh every time and plus pinching myself. And so it is transferable that my children still know economics too.
Yeah, but I was going to say, because the other part to that is, it wasn't all of the things that you said, hey, I've done some marginal things,
Yeah.
but because you had the systems,
Yeah.
and you were the creator of the systems, then you were able to also show them how they could implement these things
Yes.
a lot faster, and then you could give them the feedback like, yeah, you need more of this, you need to. No, I said Brandon and then the psychology,
Yes.
and then the marketing.
Yes.
It's like, okay, then it has to be simple. Then you got to be able to duplicate it.
Yes.
Not change from that. Don't deviate.
Yeah,
right?
because
Don't
it's
say
so
it's easier
simple.
this way.
It's simple, man. And you know, this is why I'm going back to the original question, why the children, the youth, and young adults?
Right.
Because they deserve it. And we're so far behind the game that the parents really do deserve to have the working knowledge to teach their own children. They really deserve it.
They do.
And
They do.
we come from so far back because we were, you know, our four brothers and sisters and mothers, they weren't allowed to read and to teach our own.
Right.
Even though we did the best that we could, if we was even caught reading or even talking and tickling, they'll murder you.
Yeah.
So, but now that's not the case anymore. You know, they won't do that. So when you teach a parent something, and then they can transfer that down to their children, oh my goodness. See, I know that the next generation is going to be even better off because people say, well, our children are going to hell and they're going to hell in the breadbasket. I said, it only looks that way.
Right.
Because of where we come from. But you don't see the accelerated rate that we're learning stuff either, you know.
And I mean, and you see it because one of the things that, and we talk about the business that, you know, you and I share, but the thing that I'm seeing now, when you do the research and you look at the facts, right? Like Kylie Jenner at 21 created $1 billion company. She created more money in like 5 years than Estee Lauder and all these other cosmetic companies put together in 50 years.
Yeah.
Right? So it just goes to show you, and then I know my son is on, he sent me an article about YouTube, right?
Oh, it changed the whole
That changed
thing.
everything. And the thing I like about that is the barrier to entry. There is no barrier to entry. The only thing that's stopping you is you. So you can do every video. That's why I love these platforms. You can get on, talk about whatever you want
Boy,
to talk
they
about.
had this when I was a kid, boy. Y'all was
So we'll be done.
done. I'm telling you.
But that's why I like the fact that you focus on the youth. I try to do the same thing, do a lot of work with young people, just to plant the seed to make them think about it this way.
Yeah.
Just think about if you did it like this,
Yeah.
what would happen? Or just think about if you did it a different way and not coming from a mindset of scarcity, fear, and then not being able to say, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And like you said, they deserve it.
Yeah.
Because if you learn these steps, this is what's going to create generational wealth.
But the beautiful part about this is the proving.
Right.
The proving. Like, yeah, we have a 15-year-old right here, right?
Right.
Let's prove it with him. Let's prove it that I'm telling you, when we teaching some of these simple Simon systems, I guarantee you this kid be making $1,000, $2,000 a month within the next 6 months. Easy. Easy. Would you like to make that kind of money?
He
deserves it.
He's like, yeah, when y'all gonna finish talking.
Right. But he deserves to know. But see, the thing that I realize about this, the youth, especially the youth, if they're not challenged by an adult, they can't do anything.
Right.
If I taught him but didn't teach you, the parent,
But that's the key.
it's not going to work as well.
Right. But I mean, that's
That's the key.
That's why we have to
But
do
we
what
got to
we
do it in
do.
group. We got to do it
Right.
involved. And it's like they need to invite us. We need to be doing it in churches, in organizations. Because if we start doing it in the church, which I believe we're going to break that barrier, we're going to break the back of evil in that space.
Right.
Because we all know what church is like when we deal with economics and money.
Yes.
You know, but they don't know what I know. I know that I wrote that book, Economic Evangelism, so that we can bridge the church, the business community, and grassroots economics. And once you do that, we have broken the Da Vinci Code. I'm telling you, it's gonna be easy.
But I mean, but
Yeah.
that's why we doing. That's why we sitting here
Yeah.
where we sit.
God
Because
is
that's what the
happening.
daily bread is
This
about.
is happening.
Right?
It's going down.
And that's what we talk about. Is like we really have to get into that space.
Yeah.
Because you have a captive audience,
It's over.
and you teaching them, and then following a leadership. And part of being a shepherd is a shepherd has what? A staff, and on that staff is a hook on one end, and on the other end it's like a spear. So the spirit, anytime that you are given
Authority.
responsibility,
Yeah, yeah.
authority
Yeah.
over a large group of people.
Yeah.
Not only,
Small
do
or
you,
large.
not only do you have to protect them, so
Yeah.
that's why the one end is protected, but the hook is for when they start to stray, you have to be able to pull them back.
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So when you get those type of economics into the church,
That'll keep
and the people of the church, because the people of the church, they are struggling.
Absolutely, they're the
Right.
first ones. They said if you want to meet some broke people, go to church. Go to church
Yeah.
because they're paying tithes, they're paying offering off stuff they really ain't have.
Now, I'm gonna interject this, and I know some people might.
Uh-oh.
I ain't gonna use the P word.
Don't you do
I'm
it.
not gonna use the P word, but I'm gonna tell you something that a good friend of mine,
Uh-oh.
that's a pastor. Me and him was having, but in addition to being a pastor, he understands personal finance. And me and him, we was having a very deep conversation, maybe like 3 years ago. And he hit me with this, Sir Margadoo, and I almost like,
I almost slapped them.
no, I almost
Yeah.
fell out. Because I was like, he said, this is what he told me. He said, you go to any church in America.
Yes.
He said, I don't care if it's 2 people in the congregation or 22,000. He said, you're not going to have no more than 20% of the population that pay a tithe and give an offering.
See that?
I said, what? I said, no. He
They'll
said,
do it religiously. They'll do it on that.
consistently.
Right. Or
Right.
to the numbers.
Yes.
That'll be
Tithing is not, you make 2,000, you give 20. No, 10% and up.
right.
Right? And he was like, he said, you're not going to find more than 20% of the
Yeah.
car. He said, that's why when you see these fluctuations in membership, like a pastor change, like
Yeah.
well, he's gone and now we bring it in the junior pastor and people stop coming, then the church, from a business standpoint, they start to suffer because you got less people that are paying consistently and it takes money to run the business.
Absolutely.
So I was like, but that blew my mind. I was like, I thought it was more people than that. And he was like, nah, man.
But they don't teach. But
People
see,
don't get it.
they don't teach real economics in the
Right.
church, and it's going to change.
It's gonna have to.
Well, it's going to change anyway because because the more this type of media gets out there, it's the right thing to do. I mean, who doesn't want to teach their flock economics? I mean, I'm just saying, because I'm going to show you something very fundamental that show you where we're missing it in the church.
Okay.
We have business owners in the church,
Yep.
and they don't even know that a lot of us even exist in the church as business owners. You was sitting in the pew. I don't even know you own a car company. You don't know I own a finance company because we don't talk about it. So
Right.
we don't know.
Right.
And you're sitting right next to me, right? So now what's going to end up happening? We're going to more churches in real time is going to start developing directories to put on their website to promote their members. And
Right.
that, it's going to happen anyway.
Right.
It's just a matter of time that you're going to be able to go to any church website and look at the business directory.
But
that'll change the whole flavor of economics in the church.
right, but that's self-reliance. That's what we should be doing. So while we get spiritually fed, we should, the number one rule is salvation, right? So let's just be clear. So we get that, right? So he said, keep God first, seek ye first,
The kingdom of God and all his righteousness.
right?
And all these things should be added unto thee.
There you go. But then once we get past that, I'm saying we shouldn't have the number of people that are attending these institutions week in and week. We shouldn't have that large number of people not know your systems, not know the stuff that we've been talking about on this show for 2 years
Yes.
about. And I don't go into nothing real deep like derivatives
Yeah.
or contracts,
Wow.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, options.
You
We
keep
don't
it
even do
simple.
that. I'm talking about the basics
Yes.
of personal finance.
Yeah.
And you are in the game whether you want to be in it or not. Like this brother here, he's 15. So we got two options, like you said. We got two options, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can either teach him the systems that you know,
Yeah.
proven,
Yeah.
let him do it, evaluate him, show him no, this is how you do. Or we can let him continue in the school system that he's in, continue to go on through the colleges that he's into, and then become an adult and not have that skill set. And guess what? Somebody, not just like you or like me, but somebody that understands the system, they're gonna say, hey, I can use you in my system.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, because he knows what he's talking about.
Right.
Can you imagine 16 years old, 15, 16, and he's talking?
Hey, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something on here, Sir Marketing, and it's right in line with what you're saying. I see my son's on, so shout out to my son Joaquin Jr. I see my daughter on, Ashley, and I have a grandson.
Okay.
And this is a true story. My wife's sitting right there. She can tell you. Robert Kiyosaki, and I've said that on this show before. Robert Kiyosaki has a book, Rich Dad Poor Dad. Everybody know about Rich. Okay, I know about that. But then he has a board game that's called Cash Flow, right?
Yes.
I played it with my grandson one time. One time. He's 8 years old, and I mean, this is a game it's 10 times better than Monopoly.
Yes. Wow.
This is real. No, this is real. This is saying, hey, you got a car note due. Hey, these are your taxes. The game starts off, it gives you an income statement. This is your salary. These are all of your expenses. This is your monthly cash flow. This is how much it's going to cost you if you have a baby. This is how much your mortgage is going to be. It goes through all of that. I played it with him one time. He's 8 years old. Every time he comes to my house, and I'm talking about at 8 years old, we'll sit down and play that game. He'll play with me uninterrupted 2-3 hours, no problem.
Wow, like playing
And,
chess.
like he just sit there like, all right, it's your turn. And he's starting to understand how to count large sums of money.
Wow.
At 8 years old, he's like, he said, I need $27,000. He said, if I had $27,000, I could buy this duplex. At 8, so just like you said about this brother at 15, at 8, if we keep that going, when he gets to be a teenager,
yeah.
he's done.
He's done, son. I'm telling you. I'm just so happy to be able to sit and be able to communicate like this, for you to even bring up that story.
Right.
Just to prove to you that the kids, they're very, very highly intelligent. It's just the parents that dummy them down. And it's just
Right. And in fairness to them too, because one of the things that I always tell parents, and that's why I try to encourage them to look at the Daily Bread radio show, make sure that they do their own research, because one of the things about parenting is this: you can only teach what you know, right? So a lot of times when I'm going, I talk at different places, I'll say, Dosha What does that mean? Dosha And people will be looking, say, what does Dosha mean? I say, okay, what about Dobre Uthro? Dobre Uthro. People be looking. So the reason I'm saying that is this: Dobre Uthro is good morning in Russian. Dosha, and I always use this to make a point, Dosha is a word that I made up. I made the word up.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say people who are in finance and work in financial arenas and deal with money, if you don't understand what I'm saying to you, then it's whatever I say.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we got a lot of people, they go to the mortgage.
Yeah,
but they don't know. So even when they go to the bank, and say, hey, I want to get a car. And the person that they talking to, they got bad credit, don't understand the system, and they're in the same boat, but because they're at the bank and they're on that side of the desk, you think like, oh, they know. They don't know.
Yeah.
I done did that when I took my daughter in the bank. Told her this system that we have for improving your credit. I said, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do A, B, C. I said, simple. She said, yeah, I got it. She went to go to the bank, and I said, you know what? She's an adult. I'm not going to go with her. I'm going to let her go. Just so happened the day that she was going, this is a true story. Just so happened the day that she was going to the bank, I was off. And I was like, I'm not going. I said, that's crazy. That's ludicrous. Why would I go to the bank? It's just 3 steps. Do this, this, this. Then I said, you know what, at the last minute, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just meet her up there, because I got to go that way anyway. Get to the bank. She's dealing with this young guy that's her peer that's working at the bank. I done told her what to do. She tells him, you know what he says? You can't do that. So I ain't say nothing at first, and I was like, I looked at her, and then she was like, yeah, you can, I wanna. He said, okay, I got it. Went and got it, started to do it. He tried to fake like he knew, came back out, counted out this money to her. I said, hey, no, that ain't how it works. You need to do this. He said, no, you can't do that. I said, go get your supervisor, manager, whoever. The lady came in and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, he didn't know. But think about how many people,
Yeah, he
right? You
confronted.
gotta know the language.
Yeah.
You gotta know
the
the language.
rules of engagement.
That's it. So I know we're getting a little short on time,
Yeah.
but the future.
Yeah.
What?
Here
Sure.
we go.
Yeah, you know we got to go there. You know we got to get futuristic.
I love
You
it.
know, like Parliament, we got to
Let's
get.
go.
I want to
We gotta
know
get funky.
when Sir Markadu looks out at the world,
Mm-hmm.
what do you see from a future standpoint? Not only just for you, but for the youth, because we've been talking about the youth as well, and your businesses.
This is crazy because I really do. It is so ironic that you asked it, and now I have to answer it. You know, I see a movement. I see a revolution. I see something that never been done before in the history of mankind. I really do. Call me just overzealous. I don't call it overzealous. I know what I'm talking about because without a revolution, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. I mean, every generation that's worth their salt is going to start a revolution.
Right.
And the only revolution that's only left, as far as I'm concerned, is an economic revolution. It's the last thing left, and there's nothing else to fight over. That's why you don't really see a whole lot of marching going on and all that. They don't march for everything. They don't fight for everything. Women's rights and black power and all that stuff.
They right.
But they never march for economics. And once I see that, I can see it coming because the next real true wave, y'all want to listen to me? The next true wave of business owners and business leaders, is going to be ex-drug dealers, ex-prostitutes, ex-gangbangers, because there's so many of them and there's no real true opportunities for them. So the only thing left for them to be is entrepreneurs and soak up in dealing with social media and the way it is now. We're turning out. I mean, listen, the average new billionaire that's coming into the market, millionaires and billionaires, at 18 to 26 years old.
I just looked, and the reason I always stress this on our show, don't believe what me and Sir Markadu was talking about. Go and do the research. This is something I just looked at today, so you can go and Google this. Google, just put this in your search engine. Google this. Top earners 2018 YouTube. Top
Okay.
YouTube earners
Okay.
YouTube.
Young.
The number one, and my son sent me this article too, but I looked at it again today. Check this out. The number one earner on YouTube is this kid by the name of Ryan. He's 7 years old.
See?
He made $22 million in 2018. I ain't saying 3 years.
Over his lifetime, yeah.
In 2018,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
The
I know
lowest
he-
person on there,
Yes.
the least amount, number 10 made 14.5, and they suspended him for 3 months where he made no income. So he really made 14.5 in 9 months. So I'm saying that to say, from a technology standpoint, with our young people, if you are watching and playing with the tablet, playing with the computer, learn these systems that
Yep.
Sir Markadu was talking about,
The five-
come up with a product, ebook, a game, something that you can leverage, get you a YouTube channel. It's no barrier, and then you just go for it.
You know, the beautiful part about what you just said is, let's add a little bit more element. Get with a group of some individual that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And get into group economics where people really care about people. I care. I mean, I will be willing to take we gotta be willing to take these youth under our wings.
Right.
And be able to really guide them. See, the young adults are really the leaders of the world.
Right.
We're the elders. We guide them. We nurture, we mold, to help mold them into what they want. I'd rather go to battle with some 18, 19, 20-year-olds than go with some 40, 50-year-olds.
Yeah, because they're going to switch out.
Oh, man. They're fearless. Our kids are fearless. You ask the average 15.
Well, they gonna say, hey man, I was going, but I gotta go to work in the morning. I got time for the foolishness.
They got problems. They got excuses for everything.
My gout flaring up.
Yep. But
And,
these youth
I don't want to
adults, they have.
But they got everything. They got
have
everything.
it. They have the energy. They have the
And that's his story.
So I want people to really look at the way Sir Markadu do what he do. You know,
Right.
Follow the leaders. And listen to the deal. If you're gonna be a great leader, son, if you want to be a leader, be a great leader. But if you're gonna be a follower, follow a great leader. You can't fail. You can't lose with the stuff you use.
Boy.
I'm telling you.
Boy, he brought that heat up in his.
I showed that.
You like this.
Yes, sir. See, I maybe if you give me a moment, I'd like to tell people
Go right ahead.
you know, my name is Sir Markadu.
Tell them where they can reach.
Heavenly Body Products. I'm at 2571 Park Central Boulevard in Decatur, Georgia. Right there in Decatur, right with my Panola Road and Covington Highway, 30035. My warehouse number is 404-286-6700. But if you really want to get in touch with me, you really want to touch me, you want to be a part of a team, an awesome leader, 404-578-3549, 404-578-3549. And just text me and text me your first name and last name and email address, and I promise I will get back in touch with you. I sell some of the best burning oils, air freshener, lotions, bubble bath, shea butter, black soap. I have the bottles, I have the jars, I have the labels. My job is to help God's people prosper. That's all I do. And I'm going to my grave knowing that we're going to help God's people. We're going to rise up, not just blacks, God's people. And they're going to be younger, stronger, faster, and smarter than ever before in the history of mankind. And it's just going to happen. If you want to be a leader, be a great leader. But if you're going to be a follower, follow a great leader.
Man, that's awesome. Sir Markadu, I always say that anytime that I bring on a person like yourself, I always look at it as it being a huge blessing to me, because if it was no Daily Bread radio show, then you and I wouldn't even
We wouldn't have kicked it like this.
we wouldn't have kicked it like this, but more importantly, we wouldn't have forged the bond and the friendship and the relationship that we have thus far.
Amen.
And it's been a lot of great leaders to come on the Daily Bread radio show over the last 84 episodes. And a lot of us, I think we have the charge, because we have the information, we have the charge to make sure that we get this out and we show by example, not talk about it, but do the
be
things,
about it.
but be about it. Talk about the things that we talking about, the multiple streams, the having revenue, to be in a position to have money set aside. No matter what,
Absolutely.
okay, something come up, all right, I got it. It ain't no big deal. I don't want to pay, but I got it.
Yeah.
Because that is also going to show young people where we are, what we need to do, and what we have. So I want to thank you for coming on.
Well,
to the
you're
show.
welcome. I just want to say one thing. I'm glad you said it, because my engine just blew the other day in my van. It's $2,500 cash. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna pay it. You know? I'm gonna reach in my pocket. I'm gonna say, hey,
Hey.
wop. And that's it.
But that's the lesson in the story is this, right? But if you them 80% of the people that we send in the U.S., just think what that $2,500, what type of obstacle that poses. Like, I gotta talk to Raheem, or, you know, hey, you got it. No, I ain't got it. Do you
You
have
gotta pass the hat, man.
You got past the hat, and then look, in the meantime, you don't have that van being out of service now, that impacts your business. It's just a ripple effect.
And it's crazy because right now, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna really be the real movement is gonna really be the women. The women are gonna take charge of the economic development. It's gonna happen because if it was gonna be men, we would have done it a long time ago. It's the women because they have the children and they understand what is at stake when it comes to economic development. They always have.
Right.
They have to take care of those kids. They haven't cut a lot of corners, but when it's time for them to really learn and teach their children, the women are going to teach their kids because they spend most of the time with the children. So it's going to be the women that's going to do. So do what God has instructed you to do, women. Lead our children.
Hey, with that, hey, I want to thank you, Mark, for coming on, man. Outstanding show, incredible.
Evangelism, baby.
Hey, economic evangelism,
.com.
the Daily Bread Radio Show.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Let's leverage these platforms. Let's get into some business. Let's do some business and get all of the excuses off the
And
table.
do it now.
Do it today.
Don't wait till it's too late.
Do it today. And you can go to my new website.
Aloha, this is Wally Amos, and you are listening to the Daily Bread Radio. It's the best.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, definitely you want to check out my econ business. You can go to daily.myecon.net. Daily.myecon.net. Check us out. See what we're doing over there because we're gonna help a lot of people do a lot of things because the tools are there. We just need to get everybody plugged in. Bottom line, and we're gonna do.
My name is Kobe. You're listening to my papa on the Daily Bread Radio Show.
That's my 8-year-old grandson that's gonna
Yes, indeed.
be super great. But and that's what we're gonna do. We're doing that all year. So you can reach out to me. I'll be posting some things on the site. Again, Mark, I want to thank you for coming out. And we're gonna stay connected because like I said, I'm gonna humble myself, be one of your, one of your students, because you can always
It's
learn.
gonna happen fast too, man.
Oh,
You get ready to teach a lot of
Good,
people.
good.
Where you from? Humble who?
Humbleina.
Humble, there you go. There you go.
Humbleia, man. Y'all don't know about being from Humbleia. But I'm from Humbleia, so we ain't, we not braggadocious. We from
That's right.
Humbleia.
There you go.
But y'all have a beautiful evening. Thank y'all for joining. Next week, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. You don't want to miss it next week from 8 to 9 p.m. You do not want to miss the gentleman that's going to be in this chair next week. We bringing on the $600 million man.
Oh, he gonna be in.
The six.
Oh,
You know what he said? He gonna be the $600 man will be in the chair next
Yeah,
week.
this is gonna be great.
Now you think this week was super powerful. Next week, boy,
Off the Richter scale.
boy, to share,
Ivy.
let people. Ivy Stokes, the founder, creator of My Econ, and it's no fluff, none. It's gonna be straight, and he's gonna give it to you straight because that's how he do. So next week, tune in 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the Daily Bread Radio Show. Y'all have a beautiful week, have a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Never could have been. Could have made it that too long.
You know you
Hallelujah.
gonna get them. You gonna have them got there. They gonna kick us off, man. That was incredible, bro. That was
I
incredible.
want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. God is off the Richter scale, baby. Yeah. Make sure you share this with your loved ones. It's going down, baby. I love you, but I appreciate you more.